smallmouth, topwater, Lake Wallenpaupack. Hi, this is Bob Murray, and welcome to another edition of Delaware Valley Outdoors. Nice fish, Bill. Nice little fish. Nice little fish. All right, we're going to get somewhere.
Okay.
Let's go.
Tanner's Gun and Sports Center offers a wide variety of top-flight hunting and fishing gear. And don't miss the new, innovative indoor archery range with on-screen video scoring. Tanner's is also your stop for guns bought, sold, and traded, as well as live bait. See you soon at Tanner's.
Steve's Service Center, located at Street Road and 2nd Street Pike in Southampton. Since 1983, Steve's staff of factory-trained technicians have used the latest computerized testing equipment for an accurate diagnosis of your engine's problems the first time. Steve's Service Center specializes in foreign cars and anti-lock brake systems. Steve's is a AAA-approved auto repair center and winner of the 4th Annual Better Business Award for excellence in service. Here's what some satisfied customers have to say about Steve's.
At TCS Heating and Air Conditioning, we depend on our vehicles and we depend on Steve to service them right.
We keep coming back to Steve's Service Center because they're honest, they give you a lot of personal attention, and they fix your car right the first time.
So bring your auto to Steve's Service Center because you deserve the best.
Nice fish there.
Yeah, another nice tournament fish.
We're on Lake Wallenpaupack with Bill Albright. Bill, good fishing with you today.
Thank you.
We're trying to get a topwater bite going this morning. We had some blow-ups at another point, and now we're fishing. Bill, explain what we're fishing right here now on the lake.
We have a big flat here with a grass line that comes off the shore. It's very tapered. It's not real steep, and we have deep water off behind it. And a lot of these fish are resident fish. They hang in here most of the summer now that they've done spawning.
I know you mentioned that. I said, what's the difference between a resident fish? And you said that there's two almost distinct types of fish in here. One is a school fish.
Right, school fish.
And then one is the resident fish who really stay on a spot all summer.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that the schooling fish use the alewives to as their structure almost, right?
Right, yep. They follow under the shade.
Okay, when we talk about alewives, let's talk about what happened when the lake, when they put it in. How long ago did they put the
About
bait?
12 years ago, they stocked the bait fish in there when they put the stripers in to be food for them.
Uh-huh.
And it was a program, they didn't know how good it was going to work, but it turned out it worked fantastic. All the fish are growing fast. There's a lot of food in here now, which, there wasn't a lot of food before. Just fabulous fishing.
So the fishing has really improved since
the size, the weight of the fish has picked up.
Okay, good. Well, let's see. Let's go on here. I got a fish coming. I know I do here. Sooner or later, we'll get one. Now that fish came back for that bait.
Right.
Okay, now I'm fishing a clear topwater prop bait, and you're fishing a
chug bug.
A chug bug.
Right.
Okay, you got a little flash tail on it.
Right. The bait that got real popular probably about 2 years ago. Came out. It's been out a long time, but they redesigned it and put rattles in it. It seems like when they put the rattles in it, it really increased their sales, and it really started working good for catching fish. That was a little smaller one, but he can keep.
Yeah. Look at it, he just threw up a bunch of...
See the alewives he's spitting up there? Yep. Spit up a bunch of alewives. Tournament fish. Nice
he wanted that, didn't he?
He wanted it 3 times.
He wanted that. He wanted that bait bad. One time you missed him.
Want me to bring him around that side?
No, it's all right.
Okay. 3 times that fish hit that. That's a nice one.
There you go.
Look at how he's got that jammed in there.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, took it head first. Yep.
Look at that. You get okay with that one?
Yeah. Took it head first, right down.
Mike, can you get a close-up of that? Bill, show him how that, hold the fish out this way. So look at that. That fish, that smallmouth just sucked that bait up all the way down like that.
3 times he tried to get it, and he came back and sucked it right in.
3 times he came for that thing.
Got the whole chug bug down in it. Luckily,
fish wanted that bait.
Luckily, the hook stayed up here by the top. Just back it right back out of there. Nice, pretty fish. No
That's
mark
nice.
on the fish or anything yet. Back for another day.
Bill, now, you fish BASS, you fish Redman, and you also run tournaments?
Right.
Okay, well, tell me something about the tournaments that you run.
We run 2 bass trails. They're partner circuits. We have a $150 trail and we have a $70 trail, so we have one for both price ranges so the guys can afford it. And then they're 1-day tournaments at the area lakes around here. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, like 2-hour drive for most guys. And then we run striper walleye tournaments here at night, month of May and June. And that's a different, different bunch of guys. It's not your bass fishermen. It's your guys that like to go out here at night and fish for the striper and the walleye with their walleye boats. And then we run a kids tournament in August every year for the kids around the area. And we usually get from 60 to 100 kids come out, and the tackle shops donate bait and trophies and prizes, and they have a real good time.
Well, now, how long have you been fishing the BASS trail on the Redman now?
I started fishing both of them in 1983. Of course, that's when BASS had the 3 East and the 3 West, so I was able to do that. And then a few years after that, they went to the 6 tournament instead of having an East and a West, so I wasn't able to get enough time off to fish both sides at that time. So I would just pick out, 1 or 2 that were in the East. Then in 1990, I started fishing it full-time again, all 6 tournaments. And in 94, I made the top 100 and I fished that circuit.
Bill, be honest. How hard is it to fish professionally?
Very hard, very hard. A lot of the guys get a lot of help. They have a lot of free time. They're getting paid by a lot of their sponsors, and they can go out and they can pre-fish a lake for a month before the tournament. Where the average guy that has another job or whatever, doesn't have the financial support, he can't do that. So, you're driving to Texas or Florida or whatever, and maybe not even having pre-fished it, and you're only going on 3 days practice. It's very tough to compete against these guys that are excellent fishermen to start with, and they've been on the water for a month.
Right.
Very hard.
Because everybody says, boy, what a great job it must be.
Yeah,
and I've told enough people, it is not as glamorous as one thinks.
Very hard, very long days, a lot of stress. Not only the fishing, but your mechanical equipment has to be perfect every day. It's not fun like everybody thinks it is.
Right. And it's a
lot of work. It's
sport.
a job. It's a job.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a 14-hour-a-day job is what it amounts to.
Now, besides the tournaments, you also guide.
Right.
In your spare time.
Yeah.
When you're not pre-fishing or running tournaments.
Right.
And where do you guide at also?
Mainly here at Lake Wallenpaupack, but I also take people to Lake Apakan in Jersey, the Hudson River, Finger Lakes we go up to, Candlewood in Connecticut.
So you guide in a fairly wide area here.
Yeah, three or four state area. Yeah. They're all within, 2.5-hour drive from here for people that want to travel.
So you'll meet them up there, or if they're here, you'll take them.
You get tourists from the different areas, so they may be from that area. You know? So works out quite well.
We're going to put Bill's number up. If you want a great guide, man will put you on fish if you're interested in stripers, if you're interested in the smallmouth, largemouth, or just learning one of the lakes that we just spoke about. Right. Bill will put you on it, and I think you'll have a great time. We're on Lake Wallenpaupack in mid-June. Bill, let's talk about some patterns that you would find, say mid-June, through the summer and then into the fall, because I know a lot of people may not be able to get up here at this time of the year, but let's just talk about the springtime pattern that we're shooting for today.
Okay, well, early in the spring we have a real good jerkbait fishery here. You can catch, like towards the end of April, you start getting the trout will come in first. You can catch some real nice trout on your jerkbait, and then as it warms up a little bit into May, the stripers will move in. You can catch some stripers on the jerkbait. Occasionally you'll get a nice bass. Of course, they're not in season, but you can't help it if they take it when you're fishing for a striper, right? And then right after that, after they're done spawning, like we're doing now, you get your real good top water bite. I mean, it's excellent for about 4 weeks, just great top water fishing. Then in the afternoon, you kind of have to go to 4-inch worm or grub, something a little slower, get down a little bit.
Because the fish then move off of
Yeah,
their
they won't. They won't come up to the surface once
Right.
that sun gets up high. You get a lot of boat traffic or a lot of noise, you know. So you got to back off a little bit, fish a little bit deeper for them. And then as it really warms up in the summer, you get a real good spoon bite. A lot of guys like to use the spoons up here.
But like a jig and spoon.
Jig and spoon, yeah, fishing off the deeper drops, the channel bends, anywhere the channel comes in close to the bank. The fish really school up, hold on that type of structure. There's a lot of bait there. And if you didn't want to do that, of course, you'd kind of have to go to the dock pattern, where you use a 4-inch worm or your grubs or your gitsits fishing around all the floating docks, which you can catch a lot of fish doing that, especially on a real sunny day. It'll push the fish right under the docks.
Under the docks, and there are plenty of docks to fish
the
here.
lake is loaded with. There's a lot of marinas. I mean, there's a lot of boat slips. There's docks everywhere. And then as you get towards the fall, you get a fantastic crankbait, spinnerbait bite. I mean, spinnerbait, they just take it the rod out of your hand. They hit it so hard.
One of the things we talked about last night over dinner was the fact that the crankbait in the fall was so good that I love catching fish on crankbait.
Yep.
And I got to come back up here.
Oh, you'll love it here.
Because I love catching fish on crankbait.
You catch a lot of big, a lot of 2 to 4 pound smallies. It's not uncommon to catch between 10, 20 a day.
Yeah, because they're starting to feed up.
They're getting on their winter feed, right. Yep, they're getting on their winter feed, and they slam it. I mean, it's like there's food, and they're not letting it get away.
Now,
Great bite.
as far as crankbait, spinnerbaits, a lot of guys will ask, what colors, what sizes. What's a good recommendation if somebody were to come up here and said, look, I want to go fish Wallenpaupack. I want to put some tackle in my box. What should they bring?
Basically, you want to either have the 1/4 ounce or the 3/8 ounce spinnerbait. You don't need any really big, Colorado willow or double willow, so you can burn it. Chartreuse and white or chartreuse skirt. Gold blades work real well in here. Look at that, he missed it. There's another miss. Crankbaits, you don't want anything real big. They like the small, like the Big O. The Bandit works real well. 6-7A bomber in Tennessee shad, crawdad color, or chartreuse. That was a good fish right there. Hit that and didn't take it. Another one of them finicky ones. We didn't come back for it either.
No, he didn't.
No.
Wonder if that was the one that chased yours.
That was the bigger one. That's the smaller one there. That one that missed mine, boy.
Well, no, mine's got to be a smaller one. Mine's got to be a smaller one.
Right.
He was close to the boat when he took that bait.
He did, yeah. He must have been following it, yeah. Like I say, they're still a little bit finicky. They're not as aggressive as they should be, but it'll get a little better every day.
Established in 1935, Dillon Haney is a full-service insurance agency. Currently, Dillon Haney serves the insurance needs of over 3,000 families and over 500 businesses in the tri-state area. Our offices include a state-of-the-art computer system for instant rate comparisons with the country's finest insurance companies. Our objective is to form a partnership between you and our agency, providing you with the coverage and claim service that you deserve. At Dillon Haney, we don't work for the insurance company, we work for you.
The Killer Bee Long Driver. BlackRock has created a longer length driver that weighs only 11.1 ounces. So even though it is slightly longer, the Killer Bee is actually lighter, which makes it incredibly easy to hit. With its longer shaft and oversized reinforced club head, the Killer Bee gives you an extra 20 to 30 yards straight down the middle.
This thing is red hot and I can't miss the fairway.
Hit the longest and straightest drives of your life by ordering the Killer Bee today.
Right now, Bill, now that you're walking it, just talk about how that differs from what we were doing before with the chug bugs.
Okay, this is a real quiet type bait. What we got on here now is a Zara spook, and we do what we call walking the dog with it. You want to jerk it on a slack line. You get a little cadence going, and you just reel up your slack as you're pulling it in. The average size that you're going to catch, like on a top water bite, is usually 1.5 pounds to about 3 pounds. There's a lot of them in between, But
that's about the average size
That's about
fish.
the average, yeah. You don't get too many over 3 on a top water bait. daytime. You don't have any weeds in here at all.
While we're going through this quiet water, Bill, let's just talk a bit about the weeds. What kind of weed growth do you have on Wallenpaupack?
Well, I'll tell you, we didn't, years ago you had to actually run around and look for weed if you wanted to fish weed. There was a couple areas where it was muddy and had cabbage weed that would grow pretty good. But the lake, you know, with all the development up here and all the homes being built and the amount of tourism over the last 6 or 7 years that have been in here, the lake is really aging fast. And which, you know, it's good for the fishing, may not be good for the lake, but with all the phosphates coming in, you know, soap and everything, and fertilizers from the farms and all that.
So it's getting rich.
It's getting very nutrient, right? And what it is, from all the boat traffic over the years, even though it's a rocky bottom lake, there's like a silt line in about 8 foot of water where the dirt has settled. And the weeds are actually growing in a circle, like around the whole lake, out in about 8 foot of water. There's very few places that they go to the bank, but from like 8 to 12 foot, you have a real thick, you know, weeds that grow almost up to the surface. So it's really not bothering the cottage owners, which is great because they're not complaining about it because they're not in by their dock.
Not by the dock.
But it's making a great line for the fish to sit by. So
which is nice because you're out far.
You're out away from their dock. You're not in where they're swimming, right? And just about around the whole lake now. You actually now have to look for a spot that doesn't have weeds. It's just the opposite of how it was like 5 or 6 years ago.
That really does help the fish, though.
Oh, it's great for the fish. Yeah, the largemouth spawn have a place to hide, and you know the fish have cover now that they didn't have before. Just really helped the lake.
Well, now we're here in June, and the weed growth hasn't really turned on yet, has it?
Well, there's several places that it's about 4 foot high. We had such a cold spring, and the water's up so high that the light hasn't penetrated this year, so the weeds are way behind what they normally would be. You know, real sunny day, if it was clear out, you'd see them growing, or you could find them with your depth finder, where they're starting to, like I say, they're about 4 feet in about 12 foot of water right now, because the water's up. But it's really starting to get hot now the last week or two, so they'll be sprouting up pretty quick.
They'll just come right up pretty soon.
Yep.
Tanner's Gun and Sports Center offers a wide variety of top-flight hunting and fishing gear. And don't miss the new innovative indoor archery range with on-screen video scoring. Tanner's is also your stop for guns bought, sold, and traded, as well as live bait. See you soon at Tanner's.
What do John Deere and Star Lawnmower have in common? A knowledgeable sales staff to assist you, service that's dependable and reliable for generations, a mower to fit everyone's needs and budget. A name that's synonymous with quality. Nothing runs like a Deere, and for sales and service since 1897, no one shines like Star Lawnmower. At the corner of York and Almshouse Road in Jamison and at 829 East Main Street in Norristown.
New Hope Fishing and Tackle, located at 5 Stockton Avenue in the heart of New Hope, Pennsylvania, just minutes from the Delaware River, offers anglers a unique opportunity to take a step back in time with personal, courteous service and expert advice on local fishing. Come to New Hope Fishing and Tackle for all your bait, tackle, and outdoor clothing needs. New Hope Fishing and Tackle features a full line of Versatex rods and clothing. Don't forget to ask us about our guided fishing tours and our weekly fly fishing classes.
Bill, we moved off from the main lake where we were fishing around some islands, and we moved back into a cove. What do we have in this cove here?
All we're going to fish here, we're going to do some running around. It's getting a little later in the morning. There's an underwater point comes out here. The channel comes back into this cove. This is a flat comes out and drops right off into about 15 foot, and we're just going to fish this little area here and see if we still have a couple fish up close that are still aggressive, and then we're just going to run around and just hit points like this. We're not going to like work a whole bank because the sun's starting to get up high.
So now when the sun's starting to come up, we're going to hit some points.
Right. Some of the fish, you know, that are close to the drop-off might still be up feeding. We can still get a couple top water bites.
All right, Bill, we have some lures here. Now, the lures that we're using this morning, fish were a little finicky, as you put it, post spawn, they're coming up behind us. We had a lot of blow-ups. You had a lot of hookups. I wasn't that lucky today to have a lot of hookups. But let's talk about the first bait that you were using this morning. Tell us what it is and explain what you got here.
This is the new Chug Bug by Storm. Came out about 2 years ago. It's real popular now. It's a lot skinnier than your Zara Spook, and yet it's a little longer than a Pop R. It's kind of like an in-between bait. Kicks up a lot of water. It has the side-to-side action. Has the rattles in it. Very effective bait if you have a little bit of chop on the water.
And again, it has the...
It comes with the flash tail hook already on. Like I said, we'll show that here. We used to always tie them on our baits, but now it has them on it. The other thing I modify with it, it comes with a number 4 hook, and I take that off and I put a 3 on. A 2 is a little too big, but a 3, that's a VMC 3. It's an odd size hook, and it gives it a little better bite when you get the fish to hit it. It doesn't affect the action.
And you've sharpened these hooks.
Yeah, I use an electric Dremel sharpener.
Extremely, because I'm just holding this and actually jumping into my hand right now.
Right.
And how about the split ring thing, Bill? Let's talk about a little bit about that.
These have the split ring on.
Okay.
Okay. Now your spook doesn't come with split ring.
And what do you do with the spook?
With the spook, okay, we have the spook right here. What we do with the spook, it usually has them steel hooks on it. We cut them right off, and then we put a split ring on, a pretty good sized split ring, so that you can put a hook on it. And there again, we tie the flash tail on here now, and put that on, and split ring on the front. And what the split ring does is give it a lot more freedom of movement. Okay, when you don't have that on there, the fish gets a lot of leverage. He can actually get that hook up against the bait, and if it's a good sized hook, he can throw it. He'll use the plug as leverage. With the split ring on there, it has freedom to move all around, and he can't throw the bait as well. Okay, and plus it gives it a little more rattling sound because the hook will shake around a lot more. And we've been doing that for several years, putting split rings on.
Yeah, because a lot of guys, I mean, it's a little trick that the pro guys use, but it's something that if you're going to catch a big fish, you don't want to lose a big fish.
Right.
This would help. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Bill, how about the color on this one here? This is a nice color.
Yeah, that's the chrome with the red nose. On this lake, we have a lot of alewives, and the blue back. Anything with silver or blue back or a Tennessee shad works real good. Excellent bait.
Okay.
Okay. And if you got your other two here, if you have any kind of cloud cover or you got a lot of rain, you cannot beat a black bait. You know, a lot of guys don't throw black in the daytime; they throw it at night. But you got a rainy day, black is fantastic.
Again, this is another Chug Bug.
That's a Chug Bug in black, and then of course here's the spook in black. And if you got a rainy day, now this is on any lake, it doesn't have to be just right here. Any lake you're fishing top water, if it's raining, you can't beat a black bait.
All right, remember that tip. If it's raining and it's dark, switch to a black bait, and you probably will pick up some fish that you ordinarily
you wouldn't catch.
Right. Okay, let's go to this bait right here now. What season are we going to use this bait in?
This is spring fishing. We start like the last week of April. This is the Smithwick Rogue suspending, which got real popular last year. Goes down about 6 to 8 feet, and it'll sit there when you stop it. It doesn't float right up. And in the spring, when the fish are just first coming up and they're suspended and they're just coming out of that deep water, they like a bait that you can stop and sit right there, and they're not, they don't really want to chase something on top. And we do real well with the jerk bait. You can catch trout on it last week of April. Then into May, stripers like it and catch stripers on it.
So this is an all-around bait here.
All-around bait, yeah.
Not just a bass bait here. You can catch other things.
Right, stripers, walleye will hit it.
And again, the color?
There again, chrome blue because of your alewives in here. And if you want to, you can throw Tennessee shad. Okay, it was a real good color.
Okay, again, remember to match the type of forage fish that's in here. Since you have a lot of alewives, this is the color that you want to do.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to get to one of my favorite baits here, Bill. And that's the crankbait. Tell us about this one here.
Okay, in the fall we get a fantastic crankbait here. Month of September, October into November. This is the Bandit, crawdad color they call it. It's a fabulous bait for this lake. These smallies in the fall, that's their main bait that they're going to eat is the crayfish. They get the protein. They're stocking up for the winter, and any kind of a bait that has a crawfish pattern is dynamite. The smaller the better because the smallmouth like the smaller bait.
Smaller baits.
Right?
And yeah, because this isn't a real deep diver.
No, that runs about 6 feet.
6 feet.
And they're going to be coming to the bank, making their winter feed, looking for the crayfish.
So you throw this near rocks.
Yeah,
and
rocky
stuff
shorelines,
like
rocky banks, right. And if they don't take the crankbait, there's a fantastic spinnerbait.
Okay, now the other type of fishing that I really enjoy, obviously, you've heard me before, spinnerbaits.
Right.
Now this is a rather big bait here. This is
3/8. We use a 3/8. Yeah, that's 3/8 ounce. And there again, you're going to burn it in the fall. You're going to burn the bait because the fish are going to come up for it. So you want something that's going to hold in the water, and you can throw it a good distance so you can cover ground with it fast. And they're usually either going to hit the white. This is a Durstein spinnerbaits. The white either works real good when they're feeding on the shad, or if you get a little bit off color, you know, you get a lot of rain in the fall. The fire tiger is dynamite. Now this past year, the fire tiger was fabulous up here. It was one of the hottest baits on the lake.
Again, these are the painted blades versus silver or copper that most people would see.
Most people just throw a copper or gold. They get tired of seeing that, you know. So you go with the solid white blade or the fire tiger type blades, and you can really increase your catch.
And they've got the silicone skirts.
Silicone skirts.
And it's basically the two colors that you would recommend.
Yeah, I'd recommend if they're going to hit it, they're going to hit one of these two colors. Okay, so you don't need to have 50 different baits with your different colors. You can do
no, that's
nice,
pretty
small
easy selection right here.
Right.
Good.
Right.
All right, Bill. Thanks a lot, and let's see if we can go catch some more fish.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Keeper Smalley.
Lake Wallenpaupack. Bill Albright, thank you very much, sir. Had a good day.
Great day.
We'll see you again on Delaware Valley Outdoors. That's a good fish right there. You gonna need a pliers?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a pliers to get him out.
Yeah, go get him.